It's forgive me. It's heartbreaking to think about a scenario where if they're in there and they feel the RO, they see the ROV. They have the one window. I don't know if you can see it here in the video, but it's heartbreaking to think if there is a chance that they were to find, with all the new resources coming in this morning, the new specialized equipment, the personnel that are specialized in deep sea exploration, it's heartbreaking to think about a potential scenario where the 5-person.
Hey everyone, I'm just going to mute JB for a minute. Humanimal aloha, these poor foolish 5 souls. Yeah, I'm so conflicted about this, but I can't stop watching it. JB's chat, there's some pretty brutal stuff. I'll expand his screen. Hey Miss K, you're watching a live. People are so rude, you're going off. What live are you watching? Are you watching the same one? I don't see any point chatting in JB's because it's moving so quickly. Although he's really good at grabbing onto comments, but you sick of Miss K? Hi, Doodle Brown. Yeah, I'm so conflicted. Oh God, we've got a good little crowd rolling in. Hello, Groovers. Almost me. Hello. Hi, Ruth. It's set your nightmares and daymares off. Yeah, I'm so conflicted by all of it. And I'm working tomorrow and I was watching it on my own and then I was like, go live and chat to some other people. Hey, Cement Shoes. Hey, Aussie Tad. Good to see you again. Yeah, Bashi was me, Finn, and Humanimal. And I've been live again earlier today. And now this, I can't stop watching it. It's looking pretty grim. But I can't find a place where I'm sitting with this. Like the literal situation of what they might still be going through or have gone through is horrifying to me. Absolutely horrifying. And then I'm like, why would you do this? And then I'm like, well, when you've got billions of dollars and you're an adventurous, intrepid traveling spirit, why wouldn't you do crap like this? And then there's the, hey, Scout. Yeah, it's looking pretty grim. I mean, I'll let JB talk for a little while too, because his updates are so good and he's really on top of all of it. Oh God, Humanimal. This just gets worse. And that's the thing, like, that's why I wanted to just go live and have some people, like, have a little virtual hug. Because you hear things like what you've just said with Stockton Rush saying when the perspex is about to blow, they get a warning, it crackles. It's triggering global claustrophobia. That is so true. Hey, Mel. It's doing your head in. You were trying to listen to JB, but it's all word salad. Yeah, because there's not much that he can report on. But there is some information. It's a bit of a never-ending sort of wheel of information. Like once you've done one lap with him, you're sort of like up to speed on it. Oh, this is JB on the screen. So he's I suppose he's probably the pin-up boy of WFLA now. I first encountered him with the Gabby Petito case. But you're about to go live about it too. Well, you've got a bigger audience than me, so let me know if you want me to end mine and I can come to you. Maybe they've had a false sense of security. It won't happen to me, but where they are, easier to rescue them from the moon. Yeah, the rescue, it's just, I mean, look, it's grim, let's be honest. Like, poor old JB's trying to, polish a turd in a nutshell, because there's a lot of people in his chat that are talking about, prayer, they're praying and all that sort of stuff. And he's sort of, yeah, prayers for them. But I mean, yeah, it's pretty grim. You could watch it. We'll do a bit of JB so everyone can get the latest updates. I mean, there's no updates in terms of have they found them. No, they haven't. It's more that we are in that estimated oxygen running out time frame at the moment. But even if they found them now, it's 4 hours to get them to the surface. And then they've also got to break into this thing because it's sealed shut. And then there's the other thing too, like there's all the stories of previous passengers and negligence and things that went terribly wrong. And there's some scuba tanks. I mean, this is 5 people in like a minivan. This thing is tiny. I want to know, did Suleiman beg Dad let me go after the other crew pulled out with safety concerns? Or did Dad want that amazing bonding father-son experience? Were they told to by Stockton Rush? I mean, it's kind of a weird irony, but in a way, the fact that Stockton's one of the other 5 people on there, it's a total shit show. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be awake till even news coming back to news stations and so on around the world is going to be delayed, even if they find them. And that's the problem at the moment, is the reporting is all based on that sort of optimism, like they might have already found them, but we're not going to find out straight away. And it's like, well, you will. I mean, if this little thing going down into the ocean was relying on Wi-Fi, then surely the mothership's got some, and all the other ships that are out there. Hey, wake the truck up, America. They had diving suits and tanks under where they sit, but they can't get out of it. Oh, 2.5 hours to surface. What, with the tanks outside of it or the actual Titan? It's so sad. I mean, this family, like dad and son, leaving behind a mum and a daughter, sister. Let's have a listen to what JB's saying, because some of you guys may not be up on what he's talking about. Want a link, Bish? Yeah, I'll chuck on JB and I'll flick you a link. Hang on. There was a marine specialist talking about the fact nothing heard after the last communication. Sorry, but I really think it's no longer intact. Sorry. Yeah, look, at the pressure and the temperature. I'll put JB on and I'll flick you a link, Mel. I'm just going to drop the link in chat because this is a great community. We can do stuff like that. Hang on, I'll give JB some volume.
At that point, we were. I mean, I don't want to say there's no hope at that point, but you're as close to no hope as possible.
That's what I heard, Scout. This is JB. He's a newsreader. But I quite like his coverage.
Ray, other sources are saying 12 p.m. UK time. That's 7 a.m. here on the East Coast. That's not the math that I have.
His coverage of
41 hours.
Gabby Potato was very good.
From Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern brings us to 6 a.m. Eastern time.
Ooh, that sounds hideous. Wake the truck up. They're all trying to work out the time when
I am confident in my math.
They're all trying to work out and debating the time frame, but there's actual information that one of the passengers the one with the naval background, the French dude, would be able to teach them all how to ration the oxygen. Here's Mel Mel. Groover, hello.
Holy
Whoops.
fuck. Looking like a human headphone. Welcome to news.
Oh shit! I've still got my cat's ears on. I'm taking them off. That was from Batshit this morning, and my
Hold
happy
on, I can
live that
fix
I did
this.
earlier.
Bit of technical difficulties. Right.
Yeah, I shouldn't have been sitting up here with cat's ears on. I hope you would have said something to me like, "No one's going to take you seriously, Tori. You've got cat's ears."
Wow.
I've been watching. Oh, I guess the world is watching it, right? But the thing is, it's kind of, I think, beyond it being an amazing survival story.
I don't think there's any. And look, I understand people pray and hope for a miracle and things like that, but logistically, there just does not seem to be any way they can survive this, in my opinion.
Even if they found them,
we have stormy conditions here. Sorry.
Yeah, it sounds rough as guts. Henri Paul, thank you. I do have an article up with all of their names and everything, so that I'd sound, like I know what I'm talking about. But that's why I thought it was easier just to pop on JB. But yeah, it's pretty grim. Like, I think it's been grim for a while. Like there's 4 days they've been at sea lost.
And what I was talking about with the scuba tank was on the actual Ocean Gate site.
Yep.
They apparently there's like floorboards under where they sit on, and underneath there, I don't know if it's on this one or because there's actually 3 of these things apparently.
Right.
These sub
minivans.
Can I just do a side note? Not to be rude or anything, but it really looks like a vibrator from the 80s. Look at it.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I have had the same thought. I just haven't verbalized it, but I'm glad you did.
Sorry.
No. You get to say all the tough stuff on this channel.
But apparently they're underneath those floorboards. They have some diving equipment. And
do you reckon they remembered to tell them all that it was there?
Well, isn't the CEO?
Yeah, he is.
He would know. I mean,
I'm resorting to bad jokes.
Controller.
I'm resorting to bad jokes because it's my only way of dealing with it. Because I can't get out of my head how horrifying it would have been for them, unless something happened when they went down, like when they lost contact. An hour and a half in, that the whole thing just went boom, and they've been long gone. But the thought of them down there for 4 days, it just makes me want to throw up. It's so revolting just imagining. Or like imagine if 2 of them have already died and all 4 of them, and there's one person still left there alive. Like just that sort of creepy shit too.
Well, they're essentially in a 1,500 person graveyard.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Knowing that their oxygen is going to run out.
Yep.
And can we take a moment for the porta potty, the little black porta potty shoved into the far corner that has a curtain for privacy?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a shit show. You could not pay me $1 million to go down in that fucker.
No way. In Batshit this morning, Finn and I were discussing which would you prefer? Would you prefer to be under the water in that thing or in space? And I was like, in space, because even if the little thing blew up, because we were talking about claustrophobia and saying it'd be claustrophobic either way, but I actually think despite being a water baby and loving being in the ocean, like that is my greatest fear, would be to be trapped in that thing underwater, because at least in space, imagine the amazing view, even right before it blew up, you'd just be like, wow. Whereas underwater, no, dark, like imagine all the lights have gone off and they've just been sitting down there in the dark for 4 days in the cold. Ugh.
The 2 best options they have were implosion, because it would have happened like that. The whole thing would have been turned into a size of a microwave. The second one is because it's so fucking cold down there, they would have fallen asleep because of hypothermia or whatever.
Yeah, although
they would have fallen asleep and passed.
Even falling asleep, though, before that, hypothermia is like you're on fire. You burn.
Well, yeah, they would have been running around there naked, crawling.
It would have been horrific.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing I kept hearing too, actually. Wake the Truck Ups just mentioned it, and someone else mentioned it further up. my understanding is even if they get it out intact and they're in there, they've still got to crack this thing open. So how could they access, like, what's the point of all the scuba gear?
Even if they could, even if they've been floating and they've surfaced for 4 days, they cannot get out.
That's right. So why would they have, I mean, I get the tanks, right? The oxygen tanks.
Yeah.
But why did they have scuba diving gear?
Oh, I
'Cause they
don't know.
couldn't get
Maybe
out.
they're all just equipped with that. Maybe because some of the, I don't know, maybe some of the trips don't go down quite that far.
Or is are the tanks factored into the amount of oxygen they reckon is in this little thing?
No, not that I've heard of.
Right, okay.
And anything I say is just stuff that I've read, in my opinion. So,
And that's the thing, because there's just so much. Hey, Veruca, how you doing? There's so much talk too. Like, it's 18 volts on the outside. I mean, even that, just imagine being up on the mothership, sitting in that little thing and listening to them doing all the bolts. Like, even that would make me want to throw up.
It's just, look, 2.5 hours to get down there, 2.5 hours to get back up. This equipment and shit should have already been there for them to have had any hope.
Well, see, I've heard 4 hours to get down to the Titanic and back up.
No, they have 2.5 hours down there. Then they usually take about, I don't know, 3 to 5 to look around, and then 2.5 to get up.
Okay. Cement shoes, even if they got out and had scuba gear, wouldn't the water pressure take their life? Absolutely. And the other thing is, I mean, it could crash like a can too. That's another way it could have, other than just going boom, it could also just crush like a can when you've got a can.
Yeah, that's what I meant by the microwave.
Right.
The size of a microwave.
Veruca's taking an altruistic stand on that. What do you mean by that? Why risk all the search party for 5 idiots? Well, that's another thing, because that's another thought. There was a yachty years ago, Veruca, an English guy who decided to sail around the world solo. His name was Tony Bullimore. He ended up halfway down to friggin' Antarctica, and Australian taxpayers forked out like millions of dollars to rescue this fucker who just, I'm just
and this is all Navy stuff. It's going to have already cost billions of dollars. I mean,
Absolutely.
You look at there's people who are walking around carrying supplies. All of these people have to be paid. Yeah. And it's all going to come out of, I don't know why I'm so involved in this.
I know, that's what I mean. Did you see the heading of mine? The Plight of the Titan. I can't stop watching, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I wish we had a correspondent, Tori, because like I said, if I was about to go live and I saw you live and I was like, beautiful, I don't have to go live.
Because it's hard. I mean, I'm not going to crack poor taste jokes or anything like that, but there is that Veruca altruistic approach, which is, look, you fuckwits, you've got shitloads of cash. You've gone off on this bloody adventure that you wanted to do at a great expense to each of you, although to a billionaire, $250,000 is fuck all.
Yeah.
But now the whole world is invested in this friggin' thing.
Yeah.
And so many people are saying, like, who would do that in the first place? Like, that's the initial thought of most people when they hear about this.
One of them opted out because of safety concerns. Yeah. Kudos to him.
Smart. It was an 8-hour tour. Sorry, that was a bad joke. Hi, Francesca. How are you? Haven't seen you forever, gorgeous. 6,000 kilos per square inch of pressure, apparently.
But see, that's a good option because you wouldn't even feel it. It would just be like...
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not minimizing, any time someone passes, it's a tragedy. A situation like this, they knew what they signed up for.
When you're taking a risk, there's a different, whenever someone dies, it is tragic, of course. But this is almost, and this is a poor taste comment, I will admit it before I even say it. This is almost worthy of a Darwin Award, in my opinion. And for those of you who...
Even just looking at it, Tori.
I really expected you to crack up when I said that.
I'm trying to be.
You're trying to be a serious journalist.
No, I just look at that thing and I'm like, nope.
I know. But
Who
don't you
in their
this?
right mind?
I'm sure in years gone by, people have won a Darwin Award for like building a little plane that took off and went 30 meters up and then boom, and they carked it. Like this to me is just the billionaire's equivalent of the home aeroplane. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah, I
it
know what
kind
you
of
mean.
is Darwin Award worthy. Let's all cram into a little thing not much bigger than a bloody 4-seater van. Tootle down, say g'day Titanic, and tootle back up in a thing that's already had issues, and people are bailing from sitting in it because they know how dodgy it is. Wasn't it one of the writers from Seinfeld not Seinfeld, The Simpsons, who went on like 3 trips, and every time, I think all 3 trips he went on, they lost communication? I'm sure I heard that today.
I don't know. Okay. I'm watching my dinner delivery little motorbike
Sure.
thing on the.
No worries. I'm getting an echo of me too.
What?
We've got any volley up?
No, you're not playing on the other end.
Huh.
Might just be the weather, and I don't know.
And
I can go.
3-hour tour. No, don't go. Because I'm going to put JB on for a bit too.
Oh, that's just doing my head in. He doesn't. I mean, I like the guy, but he doesn't know anything new. He's talking about the same shit over and over again, and it's like, why are you even live? There's nothing new.
No, but some people are waking up to it, Mel. That's why in America, like it's.
I don't
he
care,
went live.
Corey. I just want new information. Give me something.
No, but he went live. Well, it's because I don't think they would have bothered, because he went live at 4 a.m. Eastern time, I think, in the US, because it was an hour before they were going to potentially run out of oxygen. So everyone, because the world's
Be right
watching,
back. I think my food's here.
All right, no worries.
Keep
I'll put a
talking.
bit of JB
Yeah,
on,
put
because
JB
some of
on.
you groovers are waking up to this. I'm just going to check my mic has echo cancellation is switched on. Yes, so he nearly just choked on his coffee. Let's put JB on for a minute while I compose myself, because I don't think singing Gilligan's Island an 8-hour tour is very tasteful.
3+, depending on your, on your body. But oxygen, when it's out, game over. So I understand what you're saying. Water is precious. It's a resource. It's needed. So is food. So is just your health and sanity.
Hey,
Physical health
Bristol.
and your sanity, your mental capacity to press on, and also to minimize oxygen use. But nothing is more critical at this stage than oxygen. It is the number one most precious resource right now.
Yeah. The thing is tiny. Look how small. I mean, if a human being standing on that platform is as tall as it is, like it's tiny.
Okay, back to
Imagine 5 people crammed in that. I mean,
that of course signals to us that you want your comment to be included on our stream.
Let's sit in the back of panel
when I
vans
came
with
in this
4
morning,
people.
the
It
only thing
was
that
the
was
same
open
size.
was Wawa. So I'm drinking Wawa coffee.
He's drinking Wawa
Hope everyone
coffee.
has a beverage.
I have a mega pint.
I hope you're taking care of yourself wherever you're watching from. Thinking of you guys.
He knows his filler. I'm sure he would rather be in bed still, Mel. Like, I'm on JB's side here. Like, he's just been told, you just turn on that mic and entertain the crowd, mofo. That's what he's been told to do. You can tell.
Found. How much time will it take for the crew to get there? According to Mark Martin, who's a deep sea exploration expert and has hoisted things from the depths of the ocean, tells
Mel.
Jeff
Mel
Patterson,
looks
tells
good.
News Channel 8, tells WFLA.com that if they found it, it would be, let's say an ROV found it.
Oh, no, they've got like
tethered
a
ROV. Let's be optimistic.
what
I mean by
those
tethered,
game things.
mean that they have a connection to the surface and
For the
a
control.
tethered connection that capable of hoisting. Let's say that's the case. All of a sudden, the ROV is like, oh my God, there it is. They found it. and
You have a
they're
mega
tethered.
pint of water,
It would take
Francesca.
approximately, according to Mark,
Here we
1
go.
hour to hook up
1 hour to hook up.
and 4 hours to get up to the surface. Now 4 hours assuming their depth.
What
A
did he
depth
say?
Of
4 hours.
12 to
Oh,
13,000
4 hours.
feet.
Yeah, 1 hour to hook it all up, and then
What if they're not at that depth?
Oh, yeah, with the
Well,
1 hour to hook them up.
that's
I've been
interesting
doing a little more homework on.
That's interesting too because I heard an Australian naval dude yesterday saying that, in his opinion, it's not down because they were only like an hour and a half in when communication cut, and he reckons they're bobbing around like they're still underwater, but they're up closer to the surface than people think. Like, he doesn't think they got down. And you've got to remember, like, this is a thing full of air, so unless it depressurizes, it's going to be floating, and it has floaty things on it. So it's going to
Floating things are
be
very important.
Yeah, they are very important. I'm so glad I went live because everyone in chat's kind of saying thoughts that I've had, like you too, Mel. Like, we're not getting thoughts and prayers in my chat. Everyone's taken the Veruca approach pretty much. I bet the Navy would like to belt old mate over the head. I'm glad we're all like-minded. I mean, again, not taking away from the potential reality that this has been a crash and they are no longer alive, and it is a crash, not an accident. It's a crash. If this thing was faulty, like people said, but they also signed a waiver too that they can't sue this company if anything went wrong.
They'll find a clause, won't they?
Well, yeah.
One other thing that I heard. Sorry, one other thing that I heard was one of the aircrafts saw something white and rectangular floating.
Yeah, and
but then they
sent it
heard
back
the
to
noises.
boat. Yeah. I had the same. No, we think alike. I read that yesterday, and it's like, apparently an airline saw the white rectangular object from the sky and was called back to the boat where the noises were being heard. And it's like, what? Why was the plane even called to the boat? Like, how can the plane get to the boat? Did they want it to fly over where the sound was heard? Maybe that makes sense. But it was like, I'm actually looking at a rectangular white thing in the ocean, and they got called off. What was that all about?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm with you. There's some chick called Tracy. Shout out to you, lady, on JB's side chat, and her and I were having the exact same thoughts, and I was like, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Someone has a quarter of a brain like me.
Miss K is still praying for a miracle, which is great. And well, yeah. I mean, it would be an absolute miracle now, for sure. I don't blame.
They're okay.
I don't blame the customers. Of course we do, because I mean, there's also that tiny bit of all the different reasons I'm following this. There's also that everyone does like a happy ending to a story like this. Like, it would be an amazing survival story. It's like the Stuart Diver of 2023. You know, like
it'll be a movie no matter what, because shut up.
Yeah, we're live, man. Good thing my headphones are on so Sunny can't hear it, because she'd be like, is there a dog in the house? She freaks out whenever there's a dog on telly or whatever. What concerns me most is that after failing to resurface when they should have, it took them like 8 hours to alert the Coast Guard. I know, right?
That's what I mean. The whole thing is a shit show.
It is a shit show. Considering the issues, says Humanimal, the risk was ridiculous. It's not like repacking a parachute after realizing a lot of the cords are tangled and 1 out of 18 is cut.
Yep.
Yeah, the risk is. Francesca says what, but I don't know what that was all about. Miss K says, I know, but if I was on that stupid sub, I want prayers. True. Yeah, you probably would. They had 3 prior successful dives. Was this the same vehicle or one of the others? Well, they had successful dives in that nobody died. But in every single dive, in the same one, I believe, they lost communication.
Yeah.
And there was this Mike Reese, I think it's REISS, and he was like a writer for The Simpsons, and he went on it 3 times. And is he the guy that pulled out this one, or was it some other person? But
I don't
he
know.
said every time, like the 3 times he's been on it, the communication was lost, like almost instantly. Hey, Serenity B.
Maybe they were using dial-up to go with their PS3 controller.
I know, it's like a bloody Game Boy or whatever, a PS3 controller. And Wi-Fi, as soon as I heard that, I'm like, doesn't Wi-Fi cut out when you're like underwater?
Oh, I would not send Jason Momoa down there in case he got hurt or something.
Serenity B, hello, gorgeous. You're praying they're found, especially for their friends and family. Closure for them is so important. Look, they may be found. It's only 4 days. This sounds awful because they have been out there potentially alive through all of this for 4 days, which is absolutely horrifying. But in terms of searching that area, it took them years to find the Titanic. So, you know, they will ultimately find them at some point, but they're not going to find them very quickly, though. Like, they're looking in a huge area.
Can I just say MH370?
Exactly. Which is why would you prefer to be in this thing in the sky or in the sea? I'd go the sky because at least things might come down and land on the ocean and the bits might be found, you know. I agree with you, though, Serenity, but it's horrible for their friends and family for sure. But I would also imagine part of the surviving friends and family would also be like thinking, as much as they don't want to, but there'd be an element of, you idiots, why did you do this? Like, there would be. You can't, it just...
Sorry, my son just walked through the front door with no shirt on. What the hell is he doing?
It's better than no pants on. Yeah, we need a
I don't know
Stuart
if he's got pants
Miracle.
on. I can't see that far.
I don't know if a Stuart Dive at Miracle is going to be an option, though, because listening to JB earlier and then reading the latest, I'll see what the latest is on the ABC website, Australian Broadcasting Commission. It was updated 20 minutes ago. There's meant to be a press conference that will be happening at 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that's like another hour and 10 minutes away. That was the most recent update. The sun is rising over Newfoundland, Canada. If the vessel is still intact, it means the crew's been stuck in the minivan-sized vessel for 4 days. Experts estimated they had about 4 days' worth of oxygen, though some are holding out hope the crew have been conserving it to extend their time. But, yeah, there's no breakthroughs or anything like that other than, well, there is a breakthrough, or there is news. There will be a press conference from the United States Coast Guard.
There's always one crazy that goes nuts, sucking up all the oxygen. I would have bitch slapped them and put them in the corner.
Yeah, because if you start panicking, that's when you go through a lot of the oxygen. Well, there are things down there too. There are other things. There's sea creatures. They could have collided with the Titanic and burst open. I'm a bit behind in chat.
Yeah, he went to a Blink 182 concert or something, didn't he?
Hey?
Their stepson.
Which stepson?
Of one of the people on board. He's living his best life.
Oh, well, the family member's missing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, wake the truck up. Well, you know, I mean, he's a stepson, so he might not have a great relationship with his stepdad, but life has to go on too, you know. There's nothing that you can do. You might have needed the distraction.
True. True. I'm gonna come back when I finished eating.
That'd be all right. That'd be great, Grooves.
Yeah, no one wants to watch this.
Let me know.
Get bad.
I know you stand like Molly Golightly. I'm getting ASMR munching noises. Let me know when you're back in, and I'll drop the link again.
All right, I got it. I think.
Hey, Zara, good to have you. He's also using his trauma to solicit OnlyFans models with well, okay, so he's not a very nice stepson, is he? We call them a step monster. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Why stay home and worry? But now that we're hearing more, nice to have you here, Zara, bringing some info for us. He's also boasting about how he went to prison for being a stalker. Oh, he sounds like a piece of work. Stepson said he only has $100. What can he do for someone at the bottom of the ocean? Yeah, true. I mean, look, I'm all for life goes on, but I mean, I think I'd be, even if I tried to do something to distract myself, I think I would just be not able to disconnect from what was going on. I think I'd be worried sick and I'd just want to go home and be around other people that loved that person. But, kids these days, carbon monoxide poisoning. Well, that's carbon monoxide poisoning. What are we chatting about? Is that the second half of? No, I know, Serenity B. I didn't mean for it to be dismissive of it. It's just like there's now evidence of this stepson who's gone off to concerts and stuff. Like I agree that they would definitely want their loved ones safe and found, especially the mother and sister of the teenage boy. Like I just can't believe a teenage boy is on there. I mean, I've never had children and I would never have had the money to put my kids on adventures like this, but wow, how terrifying for that. I mean, terrifying for absolutely all of them. But a teenager. The others are, a fair bit older, and not that it makes any difference. Like they're all loved by people that are going to be heartbroken about this. But the little teenage boy is the one that I do want people to understand I don't have a firm opinion on this. I've got so many conflicting emotions while I'm chatting. They're all ideas that are popping in and out of my head. I think there's so many different ways to look at this, but at the end of the day, it's absolutely horrifying what's happened. I don't know the stepdad. Where's Zara gone? He's going to be rich. He's celebrating. Oh, dear. That's pretty sad. Oh, so Hamish's stepson. Oh, God, he's got heaps of press. And he was criticised for going to the Blink-182. Rapper Cardi B slammed him. Wow, this guy's getting so much press. Brian Cazaz. And that's what I mean, that some of the family would be taking that view. I didn't mean to sound like I was being overly insensitive or anything. I think Serenity might have left chat, but I'll message her later. Yeah, it is horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. But there is, I mean, I'm being honest. I'm talking about ideas and things that are popping in my head. There is also like, why would you do this? Because look, don't get me wrong. I understand people who are adventurous and intrepid and want to explore and do stuff. But this company, from what I've learned, and I don't know a lot about it, I'm sure Humanimal may know way more about them than I do. But they have a history of this being not great. Like, see how little it is with those people walking around it? It's a tic tac in the ocean. It's a speck. It's terrifying. But if it had been tested and they'd sort of set up their company and it was a tour thing and people were able to go on it and they'd had a really good track record, but it hadn't had great press before this particular. Is it an expedition? Absolutely, Serenity Bear. Oh, you know I love you, gorgeous. I'm just so conflicted by it, and I couldn't sleep last night. Like, it was bugging me because there's just so many different. There's that little boy. That's what I mean. They didn't research it, and apparently, I've heard so many different things now too that I can't even tell you the sources of information. Like, I've been like a sponge, just, and I don't know why I'm so into this. Like, yes, an amazing survival story is always incredible. But the first news, like the first time I heard of this had happened, I was like, they'll die. Like, there's no rescuing these people. You know, they can't find a plane, MH370. They've got no idea where that is. How are they going to find something that's not even as big as the business class section of that plane, you know? Like, it's not even as big as the tail fin of that plane, or maybe the same size, just. Hey, me. Oh, yeah, no, it was fine when you came back after you got your dinner. I don't know what happened, Mel. It was on. It stopped when you muted to get your dinner, but when you came back, the echo had stopped. So do come back, please. And I want what you had for dinner. Look, they had chips and something else. Maybe those risk-taking, entrepreneurial, gambling genes and addiction to adrenaline. Oh, it would have to be. Yeah, the hubris of the CEO, just like the Titanic failure. Yeah, it has been distressing and just. And I mean, the planet is watching it. Like, everyone's. There's just so many different emotions with it. That's why I'm. Mel, whenever you want to jump back up, and if anyone else wants to take a link, I don't know if you want to jump up too, Humanimal, but or anyone else, they've been missing for 4 days. So me, 24 feet by 8 feet, like it's tiny. 4 years ago, Hamish Harding took a record-breaking trip into Mariana Trench. He knows what safety really means. Even if there was a fire on board, they had no hope, no safety plans, but I'll still pray for a miracle. I think at night, gorgeous girl, sweet dreams. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go live, because I needed to just talk about the conflicting emotions with all of this. And I'm just going to refresh the news source that I'm following, not JB, but I mean, well, even the ABC they're just using filler now because 4 minutes ago they posted, here's something people have been asking. What's the difference between a submarine and a submersible? I mean, that was sort of explained pretty clearly 4 days ago, but oh, hang on, I can drop the link. Wait. Anyone who wants to jump up and chat, grab it, because I'm not the authority on this story and I'm having so many mixed emotions. It's so ridiculous. That's why I think there's a sick psychology here. Men who've done it all, or such a slick salesperson by someone ludicrously deranged. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. So I understood from one of the interviews or articles that I read that part of this particular trip was because of, it was a sales pitch for future investment in the company, and that's why they were on it. Aloha.
Hello.
It's pitch black. You can only see a tiny bit in the light. The currents are strong. You can drift hundreds of miles, freezing cold, no way to pinpoint sound in water. No, it's an absolute mess. Like it's not even a needle in a haystack. It's like a tic tac in the entire ocean. Yeah, the Thai cave rescue, that was a good one. Stuart Diver. Yeah, the boys in Tassie down the mine. How does it go missing just like that? Because it's tiny and they lost communication and none of the emergency survival plans that were allegedly in place kicked in.
Did they have any?
They must have had, like, I know someone talked about the sort of the flotation things, but and it wasn't tethered to the mothership. Like, I'd go in something like that if it was connected to a ship.
You said earlier why would these people even go on it knowing there'd been problems on previous things? Now, I know a lot of wealthy people sort of, have circles that they travel in.
Yeah.
How well do they know this guy, whose thing it is? And, they would have been like, it's fine. I've been on it so many times, It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Rub shoulder. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but I'd still do my research.
Some people just have more money than brains, I think.
Like, I'd wait. I do surveys sometimes, and one of the questions that pops up in surveys a lot is, are you the first of your friends to try new technology? And I absolutely love technology, but I never get like the new phone right when it comes out, or I don't upgrade to the newest Windows right when you can add it to your laptop. Like, I wait to see what sort of glitches people are experiencing, and then you start seeing reviews and people are like, I wish I'd stayed on Windows 10 and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not till people are going, yeah, look, all the glitches have been ironed out, that I'm like, bring it on. I kind of would have looked at this little adventure the same way. Like, there was information out there that they were not doing that great. And I'd want someone to say, problem solved and fixed, good to go. And not just from one trip, but like several.
I'm not a risk taker, really. And I just, even having my head underwater for 5 seconds freaks me out.
Yeah.
This is something that I would completely never, ever agree to doing. That's why I think it's got my attention.
Yeah, I think that could be it too. Like, part of the fascination with this is that I'm going to bring up the people. Actually, where's Humanimal? She knows a lot about the people that are on it. But I'm with you, Mel. I think that's a really valid point, because it's just so inconceivable. I mean, you and I both would have just been the people panicking, and we would have sucked up all of the oxygen straight
that's
away.
An interesting update. The Canadian vessel Horizon Arctic has deployed an ROV that has reached the seafloor and begun its search.
Well, why not? Yeah. Because, this is one of the things these are the sorts of thoughts that I'm having, which is why I wanted to go live, because I just was starting to have these thoughts and I don't have answers. And I was like, I'm sure everyone else is in the same boat. But one of the first things I thought was, why can't they send a submarine down there?
Well, a submarine can only go down 1,000 foot.
Right.
Okay. The Titanic is a lot lower than that.
True. It's like 4,000 and something meters.
But that's what I was thinking. If they had two of these other submersibles, why didn't they just send one of them down straight away? Like, why not have a back? I don't get it. $250,000 to not even have a fucking backup.
No, and not to have a be connected or tethered or whatever. Like, it just is bizarre. To me, it's just like, what's happened, unfortunately, was highly foreseeable.
Fran, would you do it?
And then
Fran
we've got,
said she's
this history that this company's cut corners before. And so there's 5 in this thing, in this submersible see me.
Really, stop. They want their dinner.
It would have been terribly. Oh, tether may tangle because the currents are strong.
Sue, there's 5.
The CEO took out communications because he got interrupted every 5 minutes from the command ship. The command ship was probably like, because I also read or heard that the weather conditions were so bad, it kept getting postponed. Like it was, the conditions to send them down was so bad. And then it's almost sort of sounded like they had this tiny little break in their weather and they're like, yay, let's go. No.
Well, one of them sent a text message to a friend saying, the weather's been really bad, but it's forecast better tomorrow. That was his last text message to his friend.
Crikey. One of the engineers working for them got fired as he said it wasn't safe. One of my thoughts is no matter what, a lot will be learned about water rescue from this. I'm sure that thought will be criticised by some.
No, that's always,
it's a valid
thought. Yeah.
It's a valid point, definitely, Bristol. But the thing is, how often are they going to have to do this sort of rescue? Because it's not a common thing. It's not like people the world over are going down to those sorts of depths in rough, cold oceans looking for shipwrecks and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's a very expensive way to learn some knowledge that we may not need again for another 20 years,
Yeah.
But
there's also no apparent. Oh, sorry, I don't know how I'll word this because my brain. There's no like rules set for people doing this sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no laws on how deep you can go down in a craft you've built in your shed, apparently. So there would obviously have to be at least rules set in place for who can do this, when, and how.
Yeah, I'm reading the little banter between Sarah and Cement Shoes because a similar argument was made about our asylum seekers and boat people and why they don't get the same sort of coverage that this has been getting. But I saw, I think on Twitter, a discussion about that, and it was saying that, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but because I had a similar thought too. It's like, that's another conflict I've got, is why am I following this so closely when there's millions of other stories happening in the world that are far more horrifying in my view than this one is. I mean, this is horrifying, but why is this getting so much coverage? But someone was quite vocal saying both issues deserve to be just like that. I can't remember the wording. In fact, I won't even say it. But there was a really full-on argument going on Twitter about that very subject, and somebody's response was they're very separate issues and don't conflate by going down that road. But that was a natural thought process for me, was why do we get hooked in? But I had the same thought process with Gabby Petito. Like, why was her murder and her going missing given so much more airtime than so many other stories of people that have gone missing that nobody's ever even heard about? That's where my brain goes straight away too. But if anything, if this story getting so much attention makes people more vocal about the stories that aren't, that's the positive lesson we can learn from this.
We always wish that, don't we? But it never happens. But there are certain things that just hit an algorithm and they just run, let people run with it.
Oh my God, Miss K's comment. It's a bit of dark comedy coming out in chat now, not surprisingly, because our chats are great for that sort of stuff. Miss K, you've got to have a little chuckle occasionally.
My daughter was sending me memes.
Oh, I'm not quite ready to go there yet because there was a lot of, I don't know, funny like that. Like, so many comedians would be already doing live stuff on stage about it, but I'm very different in that regard. I am a bit of a too soon person, but There was an American yesterday talking about it, how it was all ego driven because they wanted to find the Titanic and then do tours showing everyone the Titanic. And it was live and people were in the chat going, the Titanic's been found. James Cameron went down to it 32 times in prepping for the movie and so on. Like, they weren't going to be the first people to find the Titanic.
Yeah.
Do your research. But,
Really? People really say that?
Yeah. Yeah. It was an ego-driven thing to be the first people to say we were the first people to find the Titanic.
Oh, my God.
You do have to laugh or else you cry. Absolutely.
That's my motto.
Privileged people are valued more than poor people dying in big numbers. See, I get what you're saying, Aussie Tab, but the thing is, I don't value this more. Poor people dying in big... I know what you're saying in terms of media and so on, but I think the reason so many people are hooked into this, as much as it sounds blunt and tasteless and so on, is there is a huge element of who the fuck would have done this. Like, there is.
Yeah.
So people are following this because it's not just the... It's
a mystery.
Plight. It's a mystery, and it's not just the plight of the people in it. It's also... how much money would you have to pay any of us to even get into that thing in the first place?
Yeah, no.
That's a huge part of this story.
You couldn't even pay me to just sit in the top of the water and bolt me into it without going under the water.
That's what it's like, even being on the... See, and I love being in the ocean and diving underwater and all that sort of stuff, but getting into something and listening to them going ring and screwing you into it. No, sorry, Bob. Yeah, with the media, it's appalling. And the Gabby Petite, I think there's actually a term for that. It's white girl tragedy or something. While there's, pretty white girls, their murders are always given way more priority than anyone else's. And it is true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Thanks.
This guy here that's being interviewed right now, this bald dude, he was trying so hard to polish a turd and make it sound like, they were confident and, they had everything under control and they were confident they were going to find them. And the whole time he was talking, it was just like, you're not going to find them, mate. No one's buying it. It's one thing to be hopeful. It's another thing to be overtly optimistic when the whole planet's like, they're kind of screwed, sadly. I mean, if they have been found, if they are still found, well, then we'll all be like, what the fuck? But
look, I would love that to happen, but I think it's out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Notice.
I think it's out of the realm of possibility as well. And I do agree that there will be a lot of broken hearts because of this. But as information comes out, if it hey, Lotus Flower, if things do come out, you're bringing some of your peeps to my yard, Mel. Thank you. I don't even know what I was going to say, but
we're all starving for entertainment right now, Tori. So,
well, I went live earlier and just I just did a let's laugh, let's have a fun live.
Yeah, and I freaking missed it. Joshy's not well, so.
Oh, get better soon, Josh. Yeah, just to see if people actually just wanted to come and have I went a ball, but I did get a copyright strike. I had to cut out something that I played live, but it was fun. The doco about the guy who died kayaking to New Zealand had the same eerie suicide mission. Yeah, and that dude got so close to getting to New Zealand. Do you remember that one, Mel?
No.
So he kayaked from Australia to New Zealand, and then he died. He didn't get there, but he was so close to New Zealand. Like, he'd managed to...
My dogs are rooting behind me. I'm sorry.
That's disrespectful.
Why are you doing that? I have enough with the porn pigeons.
Like when JFK Jr.'s plane went down, massive search, but if he'd worked at a gas station, they might have looked for 20 minutes a bit. Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? It's because, but I mean, that's, we're all onto the media. It's all about selling papers and getting people tuning in and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, there was a link to people on the boat. It was the wife of Stockton Rush's wife. Yeah. Oh, and also Hamish as well. Oh my God! And how many Americans have you listened to talking about this? They all say Hamish. Why are you guys so literal with pronunciations? Like everyone knows Hamish is Hamish.
I don't know. I just heard JB murder a French word.
I'm not. But Hamish, like, didn't anyone in America watch Hamish Macbeth? Like,
I always
so
think of
weird to
Hamish and
me.
Andy when I hear
Yeah,
Hamish.
but they're in Oswego.
I
I'm
know.
trying to think of something that had a Hamish in it that Americans might know about to know it's pronounced Hamish. Because my godson in America, his mum's Aussie and his dad's American, and his name is Lachlan. And they ended up spelling it Lochlan because when they were telling people they'd chosen the name Lachlan, but they had the A in it, people were going, "Oh, Lachlan." So they put the O in because then they thought Loch Ness Monster. You know, they'd be like, "Okay, no, Lachlan."
Aussie Tad just said they pronounce boy as buoy.
They do say buoy, yeah. Yep, they do say buoy. Americans can't talk. The JFK Jr. thing was horrible too. Yeah, he did nearly make it. But then we had bloody Tony Bullimore. Let me tell you how much it cost us to rescue him, as Australian taxpayers, to rescue this English dude. And he ended up mooring his yacht in, he died in 2018. He did say he owed his life to Australia because we rescued this fucker. But I'm just going to sail around the world, and then he ends up down off friggin' Antarctica, and we had to pay a friggin' fortune. And then he was moored in Tasmania, like he lived in Hobart for ages. And when they found him, his yacht was upside down, and he was living in the air pocket.
Yep.
No, they can't find an article that talks about the cost, but it was bloody huge.
Yeah. Anytime you mention any sort of government, services, things like that, it's always...
Everything's been polite because he died. This is Australian media for you. They just like erase. But it was millions. Gazillions. And then didn't they also make him did he end up winning an award too?
I don't know.
It was just ludicrous. He ended up, apparently it was an around the world yacht race. But he was 2,500 kilometres away from the Australian coast. 6 million. And this is back in 1997. So 6 million in today's coin would be at least 60 million, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be up in arms about it. But, these people are that well off. They should send them the bill.
Oh, well, this rescue is going to cost even more. It's going to be huge. It's all good to say, I'll take the risk, you don't have to rescue me, but the world wouldn't let them not spend the money. Exactly. Because like Serenity B said earlier, the families want closure.
Want to say hi to Tori?
They want to know what... G'day. Was that Blakey or Joshy or Andrew?
Andrew. He's feeding the dogs.
Andrew's
you've got to come
mate.
and say hello.
I said hello.
Andrew,
You didn't put your face here to say hello to...
Face on there.
Can you tell your
should see
dog to
his hair.
calm down?
He looks like a wild man of Borneo. Shh. Buddy. He always gets vocal when he's about to be fed. All charm.
Yeah, lots of love. We're all sending lots of love, aren't we, Lotus Flower, that Joshy gets better soon, feels better soon. But yeah, poor old JB. I mean, it's the same footage. I might actually just turn him off for a minute make us bigger, right? Because, hey! Oh, wait a minute. Where'd Memo go? Oh, hey!
Hey.
Because I'll probably get struck for playing JB, and I'm not actually playing it. We should, if we're going to watch anything, it should be the Oh, he's back. The press conference in. I can't find. Where's the one that there's like us side by side, but we're bigger? No, it's gone. Mama's muted herself. She's going to have to talk and entertain the masses shortly because I need to go to the loo. So there's going to be a I mean, I am working tomorrow, but I'm happy to stay up for the press conference because it's just over half an hour from now. To see what they say because I don't think they're going to be able to say much, are they?
Yeah. No, you go pee. You go pee, Andrew, and I will take it from here.
Where is Andrew?
No. Kansas City. What? No, not that. What is it? It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life. You look like Annie. His hair is so curly.
I want to see it.
Show
me your curls. Curls get the girls, Andrew.
Curls get the girls. That's your stomach. There's your head. There's your head.
Oh, you're a bit Jimmy Barnes, mate.
Jimmy Barnes.
I mean, he's tiny on the size of my screen. I've got to. Where's my channel? Where's my channel? Hang on a sec. No, I was talking earlier. I was talking earlier today that I always had a huge crush on Barnesy.
Back off, Tori. All right. Oh, John.
Well, not Barnesy, not Andrew. But from a distance,
Tori.
I'm making you full screen. Hang on.
Sister wives.
3 hours.
Oh, you're a bit ranger.
I think it's just the lighting.
Right.
Am I ranger? Have you got the submarine thing on there?
Yes, we're doing very good researching.
We're doing responsible journalism reporting on the submarine.
Yep.
Well, my money's still on the octopus that's got the...
Okay, stop talking now. We all know you say stupid things at stupid time. Get up. Go. I'm muting you.
No, that's a valid theory.
No, the octopus has grabbed it and it's got it hiding under a rock.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. They're giant. There's giant ocean creatures. I gave my sister a coaster yesterday that said, some friends in your life will come and go, but others stick around like an octopus on your face.
The old face hugger.
Oh, look, everyone's flirting with Andrew from chat. You thought my comment was bad. Lotus Flower.
What's the thing on the rock?
Hey, mister.
That's the chat.
Uh-huh.
They're like, hey, Mr. Kills Rock. What's up, Andrew? That's Lotus. She's getting a bit cheeky.
Oh.
I
can't see it.
No, you're blind as a fucking bat. So, go. Okay, that's enough. Go off.
You called me over here, so suck in.
No, you go.
Hey, look. Lotus Flower thought shark. We've all gone to those. I think Humanimal thought giant squid.
Whale.
Where's his Humanimal?
A whale couldn't knock it off course or anything.
A whale could eat it.
Bye, husband.
A whale, maybe dick, gone.
Oh my God! Don't start. You just got fed.
It's the loved up couple of the group. It is. Oh, gratuitous Sunny shot too for anyone who.
Well, she's got a leg closed. Good work, Sunny.
She was on my bed today, so people didn't get to see her when we were doing batshit and other things. Are you the Tassie trout? I think the Tassie trout's a long way from Tassie, I'm sure. That poor trout.
Tassie. Tori, go pee. Because then when you get back, I need to go pee.
All right. Do you want JB on, or do you just want to chat to the grooves?
I'll just talk over him if I feel like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he does pause enough for you to throw in a comment or two. So
yeah. How long is it going to take you to pee? I can do it in 5 seconds.
Oh, let's see here.
I'm peeing and
Brianna
having
Fields,
a mini
on Facebook.
break.
Yes, the sun is up here. I live off the upper East Coast.
All right, go on then. Go on with your bad self.
AM here. Okay, so sun is up.
Welcome back to Tori's channel.
Improved
we have
from
JB
the overnight
from WAFL. Pause.
And is backing that up. Wow, these comments are coming in fast, and a lot of them are about sunrise.
Yeah, JB, and he didn't answer my comment.
Part of being able to interact with you guys is that you guys can help. Newfoundland, according to Come on. Duke UNC 12. I'm trying to get your comment.
Imagine
He says Newfoundland
5
sunrise
people
at
in
5
that
a.m.
tiny space.
So 5 to 5:30 a.m. roughly, based on what I'm seeing here.
I can't sit next to
So
someone
sun
for
would
more
be
than half
coming
an
up.
hour without being like,
Yeah, Nico
this is
says
my
they had
area.
sunlight hours beforehand. Yeah, right.
He's not
right.
stupid. The men on
I'm
the
thinking about
sub
it
are.
see,
Andrew never looked so
apologies. I think about
intelligent.
it
Well,
from a math
that's
standpoint. I'm
that
a
is
numbers
true.
person, so I'm thinking about, okay, what time is sunrise? All I have to do is look outside. Sun is up
That is
here.
true.
Sun is up in the Atlantic. That's how the
Lotus, exactly.
how
One
our
tiny
world
puncture
quite
and
literally
they would
turns. So,
implode.
apologies. Sometimes I'm thinking about it from a numbers standpoint.
And that would probably
first.
be
It's
the
just
best, one
how
of the
my
best
brain
ways to go.
operates. But all I have to do is look
Oh,
outside. and I can see
WFLA.
that
Did
the
I
sun
say
is coming up here, so
WAFL?
they have sunlight.
I was
to
thinking of the
Nico's point.
AFL, Australian football. And being a father and having your child on, oh my God. I would have been punching
John
myself
Forbes,
in the
hashtag,
face.
Hey JB, what are the chances that they would have extended oxygen reserves? As I understand it, it's the 96-hour supply, and that is it.
But they don't know. It could have been a very long time ago that they actually ran out of oxygen because there would have been panic. Even, you know,
I think comments are coming in so at
even
such a high
knowing
volume that it's on a delay. But yeah,
that they
there's
should stay calm.
Fun size.
I reckon
is
there
the
would have
next
been fists
commenter.
flying. That's what I reckon. Like, you know, why isn't there more safety?
But it was talking.
Yeah.
the
Ruth,
comment was
I
talking
hope you're still
about,
watching. Are you still there? I didn't mean that comment rude. Back there with the full stop.
There is an inspiring component.
Just meant
here to see
like
all
in all, there is nothing that stops anyone
everyone
from
can see a
building
positive in
something and
this, all
taking
the
it that far
countries
down
coming
the
together
ocean.
to help these 5 people on Titan. Time is running out, but I'm praying heavy that a miracle happens.
Well, they had 96 hours, I think, of
Yeah.
oxygen, and that
is,
time's up. So
it is entirely.
I am the hoodie journo.
It's special what we're seeing as far as
For anyone just coming in, Tori is currently peeing.
I mean, it is a
just so you know,
pill to swallow
and taking a moment for herself.
But yes, there are people out there that are seeing this as just a
this is JB
tremendous
at
act of
WFLA.
Of
you two, stop it.
Of concise
just
purpose.
cut it out. Where's some kids?
A humanitarian sort of unfolding
situation. Once the air's gone, that's it. And that would be a horrific way to go. Suffocating.
It doesn't bring back those
you know,
people in the end if they do.
I mean, have they ever actually tried the amount of oxygen that they have with 5 people in that thing under that depth of water?
Can't be ignored.
No.
There is
that amount of time, no.
Going on
so who knows?
Wow.
Either way, it'll be a movie, even if it's a bad outcome.
It's interesting.
Someone will, you know.
I mean, look, they're never going to
in the tram with people back.
Ever
I know.
Share this, but the technology exists.
Don't worry about it, Ruth.
Let me be clear.
Oh, she's back. She's like, "Fuck, shut up, Mel."
No, you did a good job. I was listening.
Oh, well, yeah.
They're never going to.
Did JB say if he's going to be watching the press conference?
Live visual from
the
ROV.
He always does.
The public.
Yeah, cool.
JB's all up in it.
But
yeah, I read that too.
The technology is there. That feed.
Didn't panic.
That feed.
And what I meant by the scuba tanks wasn't for them to get out of that thing and go scuba diving. It was that they could take them and attach them and use that to breathe.
Yeah,
as well as other data about depth.
But did they even have them on board?
Durability and so many other things.
The latest update.
There's a lot of data that's going to and
just
from.
Pause. We'll just meet JB at the moment because it's still the same sort of stuff, isn't it? The latest update on the Australian Broadcasting Commission's website, ABC, a minute ago, the hunt for the vessel could prove a horrendously expensive, endless task. Yeah, so there's 1,000 different objects the size of the Titan in the Titanic debris field.
And that is huge.
Yeah.
That's like a massive area where the debris is.
Yeah.
And you know what? They could have done what I did.
So tired, I went debris.
They could have done what I did and got onto the Ocean Gate YouTube channel and watched the freaking hours-long journey they made another time. I saw everything they saw. I didn't have to go underwater to do it.
Exactly. I know, because they keep showing that footage and it's like, well, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, getting eaten alive by, well, actually, well, people who, don't get me wrong, it would be revolting in some regards, but people who have survived shark attacks said that because there's a book, I've actually got a book written by a woman who survived a shark attack, but she lost her leg. She didn't feel any pain at all. Like having her leg bitten off, her body couldn't function or couldn't process what was going on, or did process what was going on, and she didn't feel.
Felt like she said it felt like a puppy biting.
Yeah,
like the one that I watched last night. Was that the woman where they were all swimming? All those people were swimming?
No, she's the one I know about is the one who wrote that book, 50 Things More Deadly Than a Shark. I think it's like, I think coconut's in the title. So it's a book of 50 things that are more likely to kill you than a shark, and a coconut's one of them, like falling out of a tree on a beach sort of thing.
Maddie, what is wrong with you?
I'm at delirium stage 2, Miss K. I can hardly pronounce words. Yeah, exactly. We all saved 250K.
Yeah. I never had that to start with.
No. Well, that's true. How can you save it if you haven't gotten it in the first place?
Yeah.
Let's think if there's any other. I opened heaps of articles.
What about the dude that's been on there 3 times? That's $750,000 he spent going.
Well, I don't think I think that's that the guy that was the writer for The Simpsons. He was invited. He didn't pay.
Oh.
He was like an unpaid guest, but he said all 3 times they lost communication. All 3 times he was on it. The International Explorers Club is the club that Hamish Harding and Paul-Henri Nargeolet are members of. Basically, it's the filthy rich people doing risky shit all the time. Because Hamish Harding's also been into space.
Oh, well.
Yeah, he's done all kinds of stuff.
And there are people in the chat like, oh, you guys are just jealous because, they're so rich they can do what they want. No, I wouldn't, even if I was that rich.
I know. I can think of millions of other ways to spend my millions and bazillions and gazillions than doing that. This is the thing. And that's why I know it sounded harsh, but that you fucking idiot thing is part of why so many people are watching it, because it's just like, it just, even having the confidence to get into this thing and think it's all going to be fine, to me is mind-blowing. You don't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire to have that confidence. That just, in my opinion, is why it's such a bizarre story. And yeah, the fact that you get bolted into it, the backup plan doesn't sound like there really was one.
Nope.
And they were also really quick too. I know that there's so much media that I've been reading and digesting. Again, this is why I wanted to go live, just to chat about it. But like even Boeing were roped into it and accused of having something to do with the design of it. And they were very quick to say, we had nothing to do with it. Like nobody's wanting to be connected to this at all.
No.
So there's this sort of incredulous opinion that people feel very quickly hearing this story. Like I said, as soon as I heard about it, I was like, they've got Buckleys. I mean, they can't find MH370. And there were some, sightings not that long before it disappeared, and they still can't friggin' find it.
See, my first thought, not knowing how large the debris field was surely they won't have that hard a time finding them. But you don't panic.
Yeah.
Or if it went down and looked at debris first before it went to the actual Titanic.
If they even got down there, because there's also the Australian naval dude that reckons they're not right down the bottom. They're somewhere they're floating around in the oceans, but under the surface. So this whole sort of going right down to the bottom thing, like they could be completely missing them. They might be up higher.
Yeah.
Suspended.
Either way, they're screwed because they're bolted in.
Yeah.
And that is horrific to me. I would rather implode.
Aussie Tad, if I was a billionaire, I'd give most of it away while gorging myself in quality seafood.
And Aussie Tad, I'd move in with you and gorge on quality seafood too.
And I'd be there as well. I'm coming too.
Yeah.
So don't give too much away because you've got extra mouths to feed. We're all coming for the quality seafood.
You can bring the ginormous Tasmanian crab with you.
I will bring mountains of brilliant Tasmanian seafood. Don't you worry about that. Val Taylor is the Aussie shark lady. Yep. Look, Scout wants to come too, and she's asking for chocolate. Francesca's coming. Death by chocolate for later. We're all coming to Aussie Tads just to gorge on seafood. Or Chinese food too.
We're just all coming to eat at yours, Tad.
Let's just banquet.
I just ate a scallop. It wasn't that great. I grew up having very fresh seafood in my house when I lived with my male parental unit, and it ruined me because everything else tastes like shit.
Yeah, look, I must admit, growing up in Tassie, whenever I travel and you go to places and they're like, we've got some excellent seafood on the menu, and you're like in a landlocked country thinking, how long did it even take for the seafood to get to this country, let alone...
You're like, I'll be the judge of that.
Do you know how to prepare it? Where in Tassie, like any seafood we eat was caught that morning sort of thing. So
I know, but the thing is, I was saying to Andrew the other day, 90-something% of our fresh seafood goes overseas. And we're still stuck with this shit.
Oh, well, here's not, because we obviously do send a lot out and about too, but we keep enough for us. But things like Tassie wines that are amazing, they all go to the mainland and are sold like they're $10 cheaper than when we buy them here. But seafood, we've all got mates with boats, and everyone knows somebody who catches fish and whatever.
I do get quite often when it's cray season. I do get a lot of fresh crayfish delivered to my house alive.
Yes, pretty nice, isn't it? Pretty nice, isn't it? Oh well, Cement Shoes doesn't even want seafood. He's just going to have a pizza. That's all right. You can have a pizza, mate. Not a problem. Miss Kay wants to go for some Chinese as well.
So what was the update?
And hates seafood. Hey, what update?
What was it? I thought you said there was an update.
Oh, there was just the estimated cost.
And
how difficult it's going to be. Like, it's going to be a horrendous, I think it'd prove an horrendously expensive, endless task. Cost-wise will be horrendous. And also endless. Yeah. So, because they've got to go through all the debris down around the Titanic, and there's thousands of objects the same size as the Titan down there.
And we don't even know what size the Titan is right now.
No, and yeah, exactly. And also, what's to say it didn't catch a current and it's somewhere else? It could be heading off to Greenland as we speak. Who knows? Some of the currents that go down the east coast of Australia, they pull right down into Antarctica. A lot of the boats yachts that have gone missing in Bass Strait, they reckon that's what's happened. They've just been caught up in a current and they've ended up down way, way, way down south.
Plot twist. Plot twist.
Yeah.
Imagine if they found MH370 instead of the...
Well, I'd love that, because that does go back again to Serenity Beasting. The families of all of those people that... Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'd like the families of these people to also know what's happened, but that plane just is so horrifying.
How much do you know about how GPS works underwater?
Well, I know that it would have been good to have had GPS on this little thing. I agree, Francesca. They may never find it.
Well, with all of the technology today, how can they not have anything that works that far down?
Oh, actually, I did read something. It doesn't work, but I don't know the scientific reason or explanation. Because I Googled that earlier, because I was like, GPS, but no, it gets whatever the waves are that are going on inside the little thingammy-doodah, GPS doesn't work when it's under the water. I'll get you the correct answer.
Thank you. Excellent journalism going on here.
Yeah.
With Tori.
Okay, so GPS and radar can scout out missing objects on Earth's surface, but are no match for the ocean. Water absorbs electromagnetic radiation, which is why sonar tech using sound waves is necessary. But even the sonar technology that rescuers are using to locate Titan is limited by depth.
Well, then how the fuck do they find the Titanic when they go looking for it?
I don't know.
Probably the best question I've had all day.
How did they find the Titanic?
No, but I mean, how do they find it every time they want to go back to it? Surely there must be some sort of...
Oh, they'd have it marked now. Like, they know where it is. It hasn't moved.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're going underwater, there's currents and, you know...
Yeah, but they've got, like, sonar equipment, which includes, like, those little radar things that go zip, beep.
Well, why don't they have that on the freaking...
Well, they probably do, but... yeah, I don't think anything on that little thing. Once the communication's gone, I feel that they don't have anything. I mean, I'd be surprised if they even have had lighting in the last 4 days.
Well, look, they're being run by a remote control for a gaming system.
And what was that thing that we just read too, that the CEO turned off the communication because they were getting messages from the mothership all the time? That's not good.
Shit show.
And you can't, and you're in this friggin' thing, even when they were still potentially safe. If that's true, if he was switching it off, or if he switched it off because he was annoyed that they were messaging every 5 minutes, you can't do anything about it. You're stuck there with this guy who's just switching off communication. You're bolted into this thing and you're there going, dude, can we maintain contact with the mothership?
Imagine the amount of shit he would have been in if they did survive and they got him out. That dude would be like so much in trouble.
Hamish Harding also went to his friends, also went to the Arctic Circle with Buzz Aldrin. Well, there you go. These adventurous men. Coordinates and sonar, bless Scout. There's a good answer for how they know where the Titanic is.
Good work, Scout.
They lost communication within 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the name Hamish too, but I've heard so many Americans calling him Hamish, and it's like the literal... It's like I've been watching all these singers reacting to John Farnham, and until someone as Australian explains how you pronounce Farnham, they're all like,
right,
now we're going to react to John Farnham. And it's like, they're very literal in their pronunciations of things.
Well, even with the spelling, they spell things how they sound. Not like our stupid English where we put O's and E's everywhere.
And we don't have Z's everywhere. Under pressure. Under pressure, the titanium and the carbon shell will shrink at different rate. Ew! So what it'd be like going, because that to me is one of the grossest things that might have happened, is that being crushed like a Coke can. But also that crackling, whoever made that comment right at the start of this live about the crackling in the perspex.
But crushing like a can would be the best option because it would be fast.
Would it though? How do we know? I mean, has anyone
because
survived?
as soon as water got in, or it's just apparently it's just like a jet.
Oh, I mean, if it's like that sort of underwater explosion equivalent.
Well, the pressure.
You always want it to be that they don't know what's happened with this sort of stuff. But I think that one of the reasons people are so invested in this is because we're all just thinking of the horror of them still being alive and what they're going through.
What, is she trying to pick him up in the middle of a fucking shot?
Who is that chick? Do you want me to put the volume on?
What do you want? Yeah, you want a signature? Or what do you want?
Oh no, they're muted. Who is she?
Yeah.
Hi, it's Bullhorn Betty.
My God. I was reading the side chat and someone, Mike Stevens, I think it was, went in there and said, breaking news, they're sending Molly Golightly and Bullhorn Betty down.
Oh my God, that would have cracked me up to see
I was
that.
like, I did. I was like, oh my God.
But she's like, hi, I'm Bullhorn Betty. I'm a social media influencer according to Vanity Fair. I've got a YouTube channel and
here's my journalist tag.
I've just come to get an autograph, JB, if that's okay. Because from a distance, it could be BHB. Although this woman's hair isn't falling out. But, and who's this other dude over here? Hi, it's Gray Hughes. I'm here to get the breaking news. So we've got Gray on the left and Bullhorn Betty on the right. And JB's like, for the love of God, get the fuck out of my studio, both of you.
Cement, that must be where he's from, because, yeah, tell him that someone saw him in there. They're like, oh, fuck, the camera's still going. Get out, get out.
Back with you here on stream.
He's back.
Debrief with our team. Apologies for stepping.
It wasn't your team, you lie. It was Bullhorn Betty and Grey Hughes.
Can confirm that there is no impending press conference, not from, again, a reputable source. Remember, anyone can make a claim.
They couldn't tell you that in your
and
ear,
also,
JB?
too, you put on Twitter, hey, a press conference is going to happen today. I'm sure it will. Doesn't. But as far as a definitive announcement that a press conference is happening, no, we don't have it from any credible source at the moment.
Well, where did we get that?
We will
from?
be joined by guests in the coming hours. That's another couple of things. And we are going to be exploring these scenarios regarding the chances of survival from this point forward.
Oh my God, you've done that.
We know that they are exponentially getting worse. We know.
Yeah, they're pretty much non-existent. There is another update on the ABC website that there's now 2 remote operated vehicles that arrived to assist in the last hour. The Canadian vessel Horizon Arctic has deployed an ROV that has reached the seafloor and began its search for the missing sub. And the French vessel L'Atalante has now also entered the water.
That's what he murdered before. He was in the water. Miss K.
Heels in the water. Or flippers in the air.
We all know they can both talk underwater, so there'll be no communication issues.
If they didn't breach and implode from the pressure at that depth, or CO2 buildup didn't kill them, oxygen running out doesn't paint a great picture of hope for them. Well done, Brian. That's a great comment. And all these people are saying about these 2 boats going down, or these ROVs going down. They're like, that's great. Why wasn't it done sooner?
Imagine they find out that they're exactly 8 hours. Like, they lost oxygen 8 hours before they actually found them. And, you know, that's how long they took before they called in help.
Yep. But that, you know what, like, because I still listen to heaps of true crime podcasts and stuff, and I get so irritated every single time when, especially like on Case File, because he's got such a good research team and writing team, but nearly every case that he covers right at the start, or, you know, in the first 10 minutes of the podcast, is about the directions the cops give families about coming back, and then they'll file a missing persons report. And these poor families, like, you know, they've got little kids that have gone missing, or teenage kids that haven't come home from a work shift or whatever, and they've got to wait till the next day to go back in and file a missing persons report. And that's just ridiculous. Frustrates the fuck out of me. But also just the thought of these families just having to sit through the night and wait, you know, and then at 8 o'clock in the morning on the dot when the police station opens. They're there on the doorstep ready to file. Yeah. Why put families through that?
I thought there was a law now that's not actually.
No, well, these are cases that have happened like.
No, but what I was saying was recently there's a girl missing in Tasmania. I put it on my community post.
Yeah, I've been. Well,
and they told her
closely, but
they told her mum to wait.
Yeah, they did. They did.
And I was just like, what?
Was she the one though? I think because I saw the mum being interviewed on, was it 60 Minutes? But 48 hours. She was told. I think.
Yeah, that's just
horrible. Hey, Joman.
Who are you talking about?
Lotus? Yeah, what's going on? TCM True Crime Maria. Who's True Crime Maria?
Who's Maria?
True Crime Maria. Good to see you, Joman. There's a lot of talk of seafood further up. Gray would say the Navy had stolen his maps. I don't know. He was paranoid, confrontational. Oh, they're talking about Graz.
Who's that?
And then he verbally abused his baby mama. Is that who you're talking about? Graz or?
I don't know who Graz is.
And TCM, True Crime Maria. Can you call it? You can, Joman, although I'll probably be live for like another 10 minutes max. So I'm happy to drop.
I'm going to head off because I got to go and check Joshy. But if Joman wants to come up, you can have the floor.
Well, yeah, but it's got to be quick because I'm normally well and truly in bed by now. I've got work in the morning.
Oh,
stay up, Milmo, so for 5 more minutes.
Okay.
We can all bail together. Because, I've been live for a couple of hours, or an hour and a half, and well, Graz had a fall from grace. Graz popped into he popped into one of my lives, and we had brief chats about doing a collaboration or something. It had never happened.
I'm so sheltered.
Yeah, but I want to know who True Crime Maria is. I'm sheltered too. Where are you, Joe?
How do you solve a problem like Maria?
I might as well take JB off the screen. I'll probably get a bloody, warning or something for playing that, even though there was no
Thank you, Agent. I hope I don't get sick again too, because I only just really got better. It was like a good couple of months.
We've been talking about the concerning things and previous dives and concerns, and we can go far out. That's where I sort of, that whole "you bloody idiot" thing is where I'm coming from with that thought process, because it's sort of like anything that we do in life, like where we take risks, we think things through. So like we get into our cars and we put on our seatbelts because we know that you've got a better chance of surviving with your seatbelt on. This is a little tiny Tic Tac being dropped in the ocean that you bolted into, that's already had a few test drives that didn't go terribly well. Where do you get that confidence that it's all going to be A-okay? Like, why put your hand up to be the...
Maybe if I was drunk, like hammered. But even then, you don't have like months and months to decide. Did you know? I read that apparently
everyone hit the thumbs up. Sorry, Melmo. I never do that.
Apparently, they had like 22 more expeditions booked for next summer or something.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be booking many now.
Well, they can't because it's fucking gone. But
there's 2 other ones.
Well, yeah, but no, it's not.
CEO's gone too. It's I've got another update saying that the US Coast Guard is giving a briefing because the oxygen's due to run out. Authorities say, hang on. There's a live update. US Coast Guard to give briefing on Titan submersible missing near Titanic as oxygen due to run out. So
they're just going to say that there's 2 of them in the water now looking for them, and everyone's working really hard.
Yeah, there's 2 down on the ocean bed. JB was saying there's no press conference, but I mean it was going to happen in 3 minutes. So, yeah, but yeah, hit the like button, Groovers. Totally, safety's a massive issue for sure. The other times they made it back, false sense of security. Yeah, but they were like that Mike Reese or whatever his name is was like 3 times we lost communication. I was glad to get the hell out of it. Like there were people saying after it that it wasn't great. They didn't have a good experience. So if everyone had come off it going, it's amazing and I felt safe and whatever, but people were coming off each time going,
Yeah, no. They're lucky they came out.
Absolutely, because I don't think it would take much for it to just... Well, clearly it doesn't take much for it to disappear, as we have now found out. It just... And yeah, it's just such a... I'm so glad you jumped up with me, Memo, because I've really struggled processing this on my own. It's better to talk it through because I think everyone's just sort of in shock and confused and surprised and horrified and terrified and hopeful and realistic.
And I don't think we told anyone anything new, but I feel more at ease now that we've discussed it as well because you're not an idiot. And the people in the side chat over at the WFALA or whatever it is, like, I don't know how many morons there. I didn't know there were that many morons on planet Earth. And now I'm quite afraid.
YouTube's taught me how many morons are on planet Earth, let alone just going out in the wild and encountering human beings on a daily basis. But yeah, I mean, the fact that so many people roll into the channels that are bitching about Bullhorn Betty with using the same one-liners and punchlines that they've used for like 2 years and still keep rocking up every day to listen to 6-hour lives. And now all these new channels have spawned as well because they've seen that you can grow very quickly if you take the piss out of Bullhorn Betty. There's thousands of people on YouTube. That's what they want to listen to all day, every day. Different creators. Like, it doesn't... I mean, I've reacted to her. You react to her and you go, she's delusional and wackadoo. Next person? Like, it doesn't warrant this never-ending scathing criticism of somebody. Like, we've all just gone, oh wow, she's a bit, and then you move on. They've totally compromised safety for sure. Melmo, thank you for bringing some of your gang over. You brought a lot of your milkshake brought quite a few.
I didn't even know I had a gang. Yeah.
You look like a little mobster with your beanie on. But
well, it's either that or it's this. So
16% of people are pathological morons on YouTube. It's more like 89%.
Lotus knows all of the things on the brainage. She's a psychological expert.
I was trying to think of a way to end the show. It's probably not appropriate to play Yellow Submarine, right?
No, that probably would be... you could play Kermit riding his bike. That might... What do you mean play Kermit riding his bike? Hi, Kim Heffernan. It is your corner of the world, and we're about to log off because in our corner of the world, it's bedtime. Well, it is for me. Melma's got family stuff to do. Comment.
Highlight your comment.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's my pep. No.
But read it.
I did. If you would like to help fund future expert journalism. But I think this is where we've been. I think we've had a good... it is too soon for Yellow Submarine. Well, They live on it though. That it's not a negative song. It's not we all died
Well,
in
we
the
could.
yellow submarine.
At least we're not getting the recorders out and doing the theme of the.
We'll go on.
We're going to hell.
I thought about it earlier. I had a moment earlier.
We'd like to apologise in advance for any for anyone having any feelings of upset. Tori and I have this thing where we just bring out the worst in each other.
We do, but when it's it did cross my mind while we were chatting earlier, and then I just went because I'd already said a few things that have been a bit yeah, not appropriate. I can't even really end it with Smooth Criminal because even that's a little bit upbeat. I don't know what to end it with. But look, I honestly think we're going to wake up tomorrow morning and still be none the wiser, sadly.
Yep. I can send you updates during the night in Messenger if you like. If I hear anything.
I'll mute Messenger so I don't wake up, but go for it. So I can wake up to like a string of if anything happens. But I really feel that it's not. I think people that were hoping for them to be up and out of it, and out of the capsule and safe and all of the rest of it now. No. Apparently they are still waiting on an update from the US Coast Guard, but I don't think even the US Coast Guard's going to be able to say much, really.
But JB was saying there's a huge like time lapse between information coming from
correct
the boat and ship that's out there.
Yeah, because I remember him saying that they could already be out there pulling them up, and they might have already found them, but reports of things like these other things going down onto the seabed and stuff are coming through. So surely if they'd been found, that would have come through by now too. Someone's had to report that those ROVs are down there from the scene. So,
and they're remote controlled, aren't they?
I think so, yeah. No, I don't think we'll do a mashup for the ending because I know it's horrible. Look, it is horrible. It's never nice when anyone loses their life, and that's it's really horrible. It's just one of those stories that there's so many different questions, and I'm really glad that Mel jumped up with me and we had this chat because we're not here to report on it with facts and knowledge. We're here to react to it because so many other people are following it, and it's just. I've never had so many mixed emotions about a story. Well, not for a very long time. I can't think of. I can't actually think of a similar one. Yeah, we know it's horrible, Jamin. They'd have to actually, they were even saying just the amount of time it would take them to cut it open. Like once they get up there, like obviously they do it as quickly as they could, but. Yeah, it does hit us in the existential parts. That's a good way to sum it up. But Mel, you're a champ. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for saving me from going live. And
do hit the likey button on your way out, Grooves, because this little channel does have the potential to grow, unlike my other one.
And if you would like to see future journalism at this point, this level in the game,
make sure you subscribe to both of our channels.
Oh, mine's dead. Don't even worry about mine. Just subscribe here.
No, we still do our little cooking shows and stuff. We do lots of cute.
My content hasn't been up for like a month.
Your what?
My content's been gone for like a month.
I saw you cooking like 2 weeks ago, weren't you? Or has it been a month?
No, I just I do a live every now and then I just put it in the back area.
Hey, look at this. Ilka Farouk Gune. Titanic 2, Mystique Wreckage.
Well, that was what one of the memes was, but I won't say it. we've already been bad. Here's my nails.
They're pretty. Are they peach and silver sparkles?
It's actually like a mauve.
Nice. Oh, really? They look orange on the screen.
I'm trying to sidetrack everybody.
Yeah, we're changing the subject. But look, what can we say really to end this? I mean, I'm not going to say thoughts and prayers because.
Well, I am. I am hoping above anything that they are found fine. But
I'm hoping that too. But I'm not going to give my thoughts
But I'm not religious, so why would I pray about it?
Correct. That's the same. So yes, we're hopeful that this story has one of those incredible survival story outcomes.
At the very least, they turn it into a good movie. I'll probably watch it.
And yeah, for the people that know them, the awful waiting and not knowing would just be hideous. But we could say that, about people all over the world right now too. It's just one of those stories that I don't even know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. It's just, there's too much to process.
No, we've debriefed. We've debriefed now. My underpants are off.
We've debriefed.
And
everyone in chat, you guys are awesome. Love and Prayers for Humanity says...
Maybe if we have time tomorrow, we could do an update if there's anything new.
Yeah, when I'm home from work.
Yep.
Maybe we can do
pay for my dinner to be delivered again, please. Then thank you.
No worries. And you can pay for some to be delivered to me too, because
yes,
I nearly busted open a packet of twisties about half an hour ago, and I was like, "You do not."
That would have been about $3.50, Tori, and you don't get paid enough for that shit. So don't do it.
I splurged. They were $2. The party pack.
Whoa.
I know. I don't know what time I was in Coles, but I was wandering down the aisle and I was like, I mean, we're talking.
Look, I'm itching again.
I've had the bag for like 3 weeks. You're itching again.
Yeah, I recently found a whole video about me itching. Someone made.
Oh, really? I always play with my nose. I'm surprised there isn't one of me. Well, actually, nobody knows about me on YouTube other than you groovers, so that's probably a good thing. But yeah, thanks everyone. Look, little Titan, wherever you are, I hope you're found sooner rather than later.
And the world is thinking about you, literally.
Yeah, the world is
all
watching
on
on
YouTube.
Yeah.
With hope. That's all I've got. All right.
It's good enough.
Okay.
Until next time. Don't get struck by a smooth criminal.
Smooth criminal.
Sweet dreams, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.